Hi folks, in this video I'm going to show you how to optimize your gradebook in Moodle. So I have a test course here, we have the announcements, sample syllabus, the course information. I have the evaluation outlined here. So this is something you could include in Moodle, and you certainly want to include within your syllabus of your course. And it's fairly straightforward, this course. We have 3 assignments worth 15 points each. Moodle discussion forums, 5 discussion prompts, and you're going to get 15% of your grade coming from these forums, and a final exam worth 30%, and a participation grade that the instructor will assign out of 10%. So if I click on grades here, it's going to bring up my gradebook. I don't have anything in it yet. I haven't created any of these assignments yet. This is not where I'm going to start to populate the gradebook. I'm going to go back to the course using the tabs at the top here. And I'm going to add, I can see all my topics, everything's just blank here from the start. I'm going to turn edit mode on up here in the right corner. And under topic 1, I'm going to take care of this assignment first. So if I click on add an activity or resource and choose assignment, I can create an assignment 1. I'm not going to give it a description for now or activity instructions. And the availability, it's going to automatically make it available now and due a week later. Just going to leave that for now, but if you were doing this, you would put in the exact time for assignment 1 and your submission types. I'm going to just leave that all the default for now. But the thing I need to change is the grade. So under grade for an assignment, it's 100. Most things that you create in Moodle are going to have a grade of 100 if you're going to use the grade type point. And you'll need to change that. And you don't have to, and a lot of people will be like, well, I like to mark out of 100. The easiest way to keep your grade book optimized is to make things worth what they're worth, what you said they were worth in the assignment. Now that will mean that you'll have to do the math on if you give a student an 82% on their assignment, you'll need to multiply the total value of each assignment that you provided in the syllabus by 0.82 to find out what it is that they got out of 15. In this case, they're each worth 15 points. So I'm going to change maximum grade from 100 to 15 because I'm making things worth what they're worth. And then I'm just going to save and return to course. So now I have an assignment 1 and it is worth 15. Now I said there was 3 of these, so I'm just going to click on the dots here and duplicate, and I'll edit this so that I have my assignment 2. Now, of course, it's due the same time. I'll need to update these dates so that they're due when they're due, when I said they were going to be due in the syllabus. Or maybe that's not something you put in the syllabus because it's going to be flexible as the term unfolds in case of any natural disasters that interrupt things. But now I have these 3 assignments, assignment 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to click on the grades, and they have automatically populated here in the gradebook, and the course total is going to reflect that. And if I change this from grader report to gradebook setup, I can see that right now I have everything worth, these 3 assignments are worth 15%. As I said, I'm just going to ignore these numbers here, they don't really matter for what I'm doing because I'm making the maximum grade worth what I said it was worth in the syllabus. That will be the easiest way to keep things straight in the gradebook. I'm going to go back to the course. I have Moodle discussion forums. I'm going to have 5 of those. This is going to be a 15% part of the student's grade. So down here in topic 2, if I add a forum, I'll call this discussion 1. I'll leave the description. You need a description on what it is that you expect students to do in the forum, but I'm going to leave it blank for now. You'd also want to think about providing some dates, like a due date for a discussion, if it's going to be worth points. I'm not going to put that in here right now. What I am going to change, though, is the whole forum grading. So by default, a forum that you put up in Moodle, this is where you provide a prompt, students will add a new discussion, and then they can also reply to other students' discussions. So this is public. This is not a private assignment like the one we just created. So by default, they're not graded, but I can change the grade type to point. And again, by default, Moodle wants to make everything worth 100. I'm going to have 5 of these, and it's worth 15%. So I'm going to make the maximum grade 3. So this means that each time there's a discussion, and the rate here would be about every 2 weeks, there's going to be a discussion in the course. Students are expected to post something, and maybe I expect them to reply to another student. And I'm giving them 3 points maximum for what they do here in this form. I'll save and return to course. So this is discussion 1. I'm going to duplicate that. Duplicate. 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 So now I have my 5 discussions. I can edit the titles here in the main screen. I'm just clicking on the pen and highlighting the part I want to change, changing it, and then hitting enter on the keyboard. So now I have my 5 discussions. If I go up here to grades, change grader report to gradebook setup, I can see now I'm up to 60 points available in the course. The assignments, the discussions. We'll go back to the course. My last couple of pieces of the evaluation is the final exam quiz. That's worth 30% and a participation grade. So down here in topic 3, I'm going to add a quiz. I'll call this the final exam. You should put in a description here in terms of when it's going to be, how long the students will have. I'm going to leave the timing and any of the other options such as user overrides till later. And here under grade, it's not where I set the actual grade, because if you've used the quiz tool before, you know that this is the step of just setting up a quiz and determining how long it is that students will have to do things. I'm going to hit. I am going to create the open and close for this so that it's set there. But if I'm going to click on Save and Display, so it'll bring up the quiz. Now, it's where I add questions, or where if I click on this third option or add question here, when I do that, it's now I'm on the screen where I could add questions from a question bank. I could create the questions right here. But notice under maximum grade, so most things in Moodle wants to assign a grade of 100, but for quizzes, it wants to make all quizzes out of 10. I'm going to change that 10 to 30 and click on Save. So now the quiz is going to be worth 30 points. It's worth 30% of their final grade. Now I could have 100 questions in here. It's still going to calculate based on how they do in each question. By default, each question will be worth the same. It'll give them marks out of 100, but it will give them a grade on the quiz in the gradebook out of 30. That's what I want. So now I'm going to use the breadcrumbs here to go back to the main page of the course. Click on grades, change grade report to gradebook setup, and I now have 90%. All of the items are here. Now the quiz, you've got to create the questions and get everything set up. It's going to grade itself. The forums, you'll have to grade individually. You're going to give students a grade out of 3 for each one of the forums. And you're going to give students are going to submit assignments. In this particular scenario, each one is worth 15. You're going to have to manually grade those. But I'm only at 90%. I need my participation grade out of 10%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Add a Grade Item. So I have two options up the top. Add a category. If I add a category, it's going to create a bucket that I could put other grade book items that are going to be graded, either automatically in the case of quizzes or manually in the case of assignments and forms and other things. And then I have to put things in that bucket, the category. I just want to add participation, and I'm just going to give, in this particular scenario, I'm going to give students a grade out of 10. So I'm going to add grade item. I'm going to call it participation. Not going to be worth 100 like Moodle wants it to be. I'm going to make that 10 and then just save changes. So now under my gradebook setup, the course is out of 100. And when I'm grading each of these, so the assignments are going to be graded within Moodle. I'm just going to click on the assignment. When the submissions are in, there's no students in this course, but I would view all submissions and I would grade those here within Moodle. And as I grade them, those grades go into the gradebook. Within the discussion forum, I could grade that as well. All those grades are going to be saved as the course progresses in the Moodle gradebook. The final exam, Moodle's going to take care of grading that, unless I have essay questions that need to be manually graded. But there are other quiz question types like multiple choice, true and false, which Moodle will take care of grading for me. And the participation doesn't appear here within Moodle. Students aren't going to upload anything in this particular scenario. How I'm going to handle the participation grade, I'm just going to do that within the gradebook at the end. When I bring up this grader report, I'd be able to enter those grades. I don't have a student here in the course, but I'd be able to enter those grades for the participation. So that's how you can set up the Moodle gradebook so that it will take care of grading, making things worth what they're worth. You do have some other options that are available to you. If you've made it this far in the video, perhaps that's something you might be looking for. So let's look at one of those options that I can handle through the categories in the gradebook. So let's say I'm going to I have 12 weeks for the course in the fall. I'm going to create discussion 6. Now I've made all these worth 3 points, and the student is going to be getting 15%. So how do I reconcile the fact that there's an extra? I don't want this to be bonus points. I'm going to go to grades and to Gradebook setup, and I'm going to add a category called discussions. And where did my category go? So it's being it's graded naturally. That's actually not probably what I want, but I'm going to move all of these into the category discussions right here. This is how you move things. You click on the up and down arrow and then scroll down to where you want to put it. I want to put it right here underneath. You see how this one, this dotted line here would move it. It's going to move it to a different place on the gradebook. This one's indented a little bit more. So I click here and it's going to go into that category that I've created. So now I have all these discussions in this category, and my course is still being graded out of 103. So within this category, I'm just going to edit the category. The aggregation is natural. I don't want to exclude empty grades, and I'm going to drop the lowest one. So I have an extra discussion. I'm going to mark them with a 15. So if a student doesn't participate in one of the discussions because I'm excluding empty grades, that's going to be their lowest mark. And if students don't perform optimally in all of those discussions, the one that they perhaps didn't get to reply to one of their classmates in, that one will get excluded from their discussion grade. So I can click on Save Changes. And now the course totals 100. So it's going to give them 3 points here and then just drop the lowest from these this list of discussions. So you can manage some different scenarios like that with categories, but it's almost always going to be easier if you can make assignments worth what they're worth, and then you're going to do the math to give them the grade out of whatever you said the assignments, the discussions are going to be worth. But once you've set it up like this, you can add all your other content in Moodle as long as you don't use another assignment type or discussion, and Moodle's going to make that worth either 100, or if it's a quiz, it's going to make it worth 10. As long as you don't add those as the course progresses, or if you do add them, you make them worth 0 points, or then you will be fine. If it's just a practice quiz or an assignment upload, you can, if it's not part of your grade calculation, just make it worth nothing, and then it won't end up in the gradebook and contaminating your course total so that it's something other than 100. If you keep that straight, your gradebook will take care of itself.